There's a precise technique for dialing leads, and that is you're going to take 25 names. It could be new, it could be existing, and it could be a combination. If you're a guy who has been doing this for a little while, you have some identities that you've spoken to before, this technique will work with those identities. You're going to take those 25 names, dial them all 3 times each, all the way to voicemail. No texting, no voicemails, nothing else. And then you're going to go through them again, drop off 5, 3 times all the way to voicemail. And then you're going to come back through, drop off 5, and then dial them all the way through to voicemail. You're going to keep doing that until you've dialed all 25. And then you're going to pick up the next set of names. And you're going to do that until you get to 3 to 500. So 300 to 500 dials in the day will give you a proper amount of dials at that activity and that effort. You can do this with a cell phone. We recommend that you have the cell phone registered to your business. This is called the Cooper method. And I took it from an agent whose last name is Cooper. And that is exactly a way that you can see success dialing the phone without a dialer, without any kind of anything other than just a cell phone. That technique will work. And that is how it has always been. And I've not seen it change in years, despite people trying to say like they close deals through text messages, all kinds of different things. This technique has always worked, and it'll get you into communication with people, okay? A quick thing about people, when you're talking to them on the phone, they will sometimes just say whatever they can as a knee-jerk reaction, like, oh, we already have that taken care of. And then I get into communication a little bit further. Like, I don't just I pretty much, I don't brush them off, but I don't, in my mind, I don't treat it as ultra important. In my mind, I'm like, okay, this is just a knee-jerk reaction. You know, they filled out this thing not too long ago. So, you know, wow, that's amazing. You know, you've probably had something in place for years, you know, but this was just a few days ago. Were you trying to save money, add to what you have, or were you looking for a loved one? And then they might say, well, actually I was looking for more because, you know, we don't have coverage anymore. That's exactly what happened. So, might have to say things a couple of times. You might have to make sure that you're not going too quick. Slow it down, like right now, like, slow it down. There's no rush. I don't want to make you feel like you're going to sit here forever and that you have to sit here and listen to somebody on a video like you are right now, but slow it down and just be smooth. When you're talking to them, there's not a big hurry like, hey, look, I know you probably already have something in place. I would be surprised if you didn't. Now, this was just a few days ago. Do you remember just being curious to see what your options were to save money, add to what you have, or were you looking for a loved one? That has worked really well for me, to get into communication with the person. Look, and if they continue with if they're like, have that attitude of like, no, we're gonna take care of her. No, then we're fine. You know, that kind of attitude. Listen, you're probably getting a ton of phone calls, right? This was specific to me. Or how are you dealing with all those calls? Probably just hang up on them, right? Well, look, you know, what's making me different than them? You did put a couple things in here, okay, that were specific and they're very recent. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. I'm trying to save money, add to what you have, or looking for a loved one. No, we're not interested. It's just my job to get you the information. What you decide to do with it, would be completely up to you, okay? My clients live on very fixed incomes. These are some things you can say to keep people on the phone. You don't have to say them in that order. You don't have to say them at all. But these are just some things you could say that have worked very well for me over several years. And if they're even remotely interested and you sound like you've had a cup of coffee that morning, you didn't just roll out of bed, you speak really clear with these folks, then you're going to be in a position where you can have a conversation, which is all you really want, right? To get back and forth communication going, okay? All right, well, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, message me directly, whatever you need to do, and let's talk about how we can improve your game.